Good evening. Thank you for the invitation. One of the big problems that we have in our system is the lack of accountability. And the bill doesn't address any of those issues of accountability. The minister, for instance, my mother didn't call people liar. My mother said that he makes stories. So our minister is making stories. And let me put an example about what he did. He's using the term that $50,000 is the value, is what the government expends in a refugee case. So we did an info request about, well, where these $50 come from. A month have passed, and they have asked for more time to put together the items for the $50,000. And now they are saying that they need $30 more from us, because they are going to review other things that were not in consideration before. And no $50,000 appears anywhere, because this is a story that he made just to click someone in the general public about the expenses. But he doesn't talk about the contribution of refugees in the 10 next years. Because we don't come here just to spend money. To produce and to be efficient. And that's something that he totally ignored. Because he's a person that ignores the things that he just decided to ignore. One of the accountability. Why the system doesn't have terms and conditions for the board members to bring a decision? Why they don't have any accountability in terms of the removal times? Why they don't have any accountability for the system? Why a person need to wait for years for an IRB decision? Why a person need to wait for years for a PRA decision? And it's not any implications whatsoever for the officer or the board member that create that delay. Why they can lose a file and nothing happened to them? Why they can lose the life of people and nothing happened to them? We have to make the system accountable. Because if we don't make our system accountable, it's over. Our democracy is not accountable. Look how Mr. Harper is destroying our democratic institutions by lying, by saying things that is unbelievable, the way that they are manipulating the truth. How accountable is our Minister of Immigration that canceled the right of gay and lesbians in our booklet for citizenship? How accountable is the Minister of Immigration and Citizenship that canceled the right of women in terms of abortion and other rights in the booklet of citizenship? Nobody say anything about this. So therefore, we have to stand up. The humanitarian application. Let me ask some questions. What happens if a domestic violence appears between a couple that is making a refugee application? And of course, the principal applicant is the husband. What about if she doesn't have a case any longer? What about if she rejected, but she wants to stay? What about it? Is she going to be banned to make a refugee a humanitarian application? What about if it's a labor accident? The refugee claimant is working and become, have an accident and is not able to work. If there is enough conditions to make a humanitarian application at that particular time, or we are going to be using the disposable concept of labor and remove that person immediately in order that they don't have access to our services and benefits. What is this immigration reform, or this, because for me it's not a refugee reform. This is an immigration reform because they are trying to tackle the irregular migration, accusing people of being bogus claims. Well, they didn't give people another chance. What are the chances that a poor person, young person has in Canada to come and say, you know what, I want to live here and I want to work and be safe, please let me. They will say, sorry, you gotta go home. So what did the person do? They apply for refugee application. They make a refugee application because the government doesn't allow them to make an application inland and to switch and to obtain a work permit application, even if the person has a job offer. No, you have to leave and come back. You know, why is the stupidity of the golden rule to leave and come back? Maybe, and we have to check the interest of the ministry. Maybe they have some interest in the airlines. You know? Because I don't see another way why the ministry is going to force people to go and come back for no particular reasons. This bill is anti-women. How the bill expect that a woman that have been raped back home is going to put together herself and go and talk to an immigration or a board member or an officer at the IRB about everything that happened to her? How accountable that officer will be in terms of his or her actions about that woman? We don't have an accountability system. Where is the complaint mechanism that this woman is going to have in front of her? Who is going to review the work of that officer that is taking notes? The bill is silent about the accountability of the system. For instance, the humanitarian application. Peter made a question about how we can, make this more effective. Well, and Andrew answered, well, why not the IRB decide about these two situations? The minister is saying, no, it's not possible. Why? The PRA unit decide now about the definition of protection and decide as well under the humanitarian compassionate grounds. Why the PRA officer can do that and not an IRB member? This is a total contradiction in the way. And we can find many contradictions, in the way that this legislation has been put together. Faster and fair in my life doesn't exist. Believe me, even to mature, you need time. And I think the minister needs a long, long time, to mature and understand the reality. And that's why we said, if we need a big change, and don't ask me the question because I will answer it, is we need a new Minister of Immigration, period.